Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder.
Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson, and of course with tonight is the techie with us, this is Techy Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, halfway evil, totally mad, and ready to dig into some interesting topics. How about you?
Hey, I'm there for that. I am.
It's been a bit. Why does it feel like we didn't sit down last week and talk about some shit? Maybe we did.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we did.
Hey, baby girl, how are you? Nice to see you in the house tonight.
Hey, Mika.
It's been forever. It has. You know, between the planner system and like Aeson's work. It's been one of those holy hells.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot. We've had a lot going on. I was actually off the road this week, which was like, I didn't know what to do with myself. And then I started looking at my calendar for the rest of the month, and I'm like, I don't have anything until the 23rd currently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that happened. For part of the family, I don't have anything until the 23rd, and I was like, I think we missed something. Mm-hmm. And then, I've got one appointment to take your mom for, and I'm just like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, that's it? That's
right.
Really it?
Yeah, like, you're all mine. We can get
right?
done. We can get some new videos out. Maybe help me film some in the kitchen. Oh, I've got a honey to-do list, guys, a mile long, just waiting around for him. Starting off with taking the supercomputer into Windows 11. What'd you discover with it here recently?
Well, now that was kind of fun. I finally, actually, that was last night even. I decided, because I was sitting here going, well, technically you can install Windows 11 and bypass all the security checks. Now, or as in, like, do you have the right CPU? Do you have a trusted platform module? Do you have enough RAM? You can turn those things, you can tell it at install. It's not easy, but you can tell it to ignore that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here having a moment, let me just take this laptop and I'm gonna shoehorn it on here. And just so we have, something I'm familiar with, so I can see what it's going to do. Because I've long thought, okay, this computer, I don't know why it's refusing.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. And I've dug into that, and I understand it.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's a weird, distinction point being made.
Right.
For that specific processor.
Right.
So anyway, decided, okay, I've got, all the stuff I need up to do that, and went ahead and started that process, or started the installation of Windows 11. Lo and behold, it just installed.
Mm-hmm.
No intervention necessary. Didn't have to turn anything off to make that happen.
Right.
It naturally installed Windows 11. So I'm just kind of sitting here having this moment of like, does anyone know what the real requirements are? Because I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Because I know in my specific case, there's what I think happened.
Okay.
is there has been our laptops are at a because we have identical laptops, are at a perfect point. Like it is dead center of when they want to put a yes no divider. And it's the reason for a yes no divider. We have 7th generation Core i7s. Okay, these are also known as KB Lakes, Intel KB Lake processors. Within that 7th generation, there's an early, a mid, and a late. And the argument's been made that the 6th generation and early 7 are pretty much the no line. The mid and late are arguably capable. But Windows or Microsoft specifically decided they weren't doing anything older than 8. So 8th generation and newer i7, you get Windows 11. Anything older than that, have a nice life.
Right.
Now the irony on this is that would put all the KB Lake processors, because they came out in that transition, or actually just a little past the transition, from Windows 7 to Windows, or from Windows 8 to Windows 10. That means those processors would have technically only been officially recognized by Microsoft for Windows 10. So that's ticking a lot of people off.
Right.
In addition, when you start looking at the technical specifications that Microsoft wants to get into as to, well, this is why we allow this one, but we're not allowing this one, there's a lot of argument that 7th generation and even 6th technically meet the definition. It's just not like a preferred version kind of moment. It's sort of like, it's like, yeah, it does that, but it does that at like the quality of like, you ordered this on Wish, didn't you? You know what I mean? Like, that's where it's at. Like, it technically fits, but no, we don't like it. That's what I think has happened, is they've had to let in that last part of the 7th generation. They've had to inadvertently make it just see that, okay, it's 7th generation or newer. Because supposedly that's as far as Microsoft has allowed, is 8th generation plus these like late, very late 7th generation. And then screw that whole midpoint, early 7th, and everything before it 6th, 5, 4 on down. I don't know how far that actually ends up going. If it was just a fluke in the programming, if it's Microsoft going, yeah, we're going to sit here and keep telling your computer isn't compatible for upgrading. As in, if you're sitting in Windows 10 right now and you're getting the, you're trying to check to see if you're compatible to go, yeah, it's going to keep sitting there telling you no. You can't do this. Your processor is not good enough. Yeah, you have that TPM 2.0 module we told you need. Yeah, you've got secure boot enabled. You've properly done that. Yeah, you got the RAM for it. No, that processor's not going to do it. And then there's a whole other outer ring debate, which is what prompted me to even attempt the shoehorn that I was going to do. Which is the reality of fundamentally all this was going to do, is that the processor itself is capable of running Windows 11. No one's debating that. The actual ability of that processor to take full advantage of all the newest security features in Windows 11 isn't there.
Right.
Or is potentially not there. Like it's a back and forth. Like it'll run it.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't really have the pure tech specs of what Microsoft wants to be able to perfectly sandbox everything you're doing on that system so that you can't be, like, for instance, browsing a website and turn around and have that influence other parts of your running computer.
Right.
Which is basically what Microsoft's doing with its brand new release. So, big long technical definition. Hopefully, everyone made it through and had plenty of coffee, tea, or other stimulants of some variety to make it through that whole spiel.
Why? Because it's going to be your next week project because Aeson's big desktop's going down, and I'm switching totally to the Mac for at least a week, possibly longer.
True. You've even seriously considered being like, I'm good with the Mac. Like,
I'm good with the Mac. Call AT&T, see if I can get me an iPhone, an iWatch, an iPad. Like,
well,
Microsoft
actually,
pissed me off.
yeah, out. Well, and we may even have to check on like a MacBook. You may be able to get all of those through AT&T.
I know.
Because I know you can do the iPad, but that's an iPad with a SIM card.
Right.
You, I think, can do the iWatch, but it's also the iWatch with a SIM card.
Okay.
Meaning that all these devices are technically, what they're doing is they're using the SIM card for data, but it does technically mean each of these devices would have a phone number.
Right. Well,
like it's a cellular capable device.
Hey, more phone numbers I have, the more clients I can talk to. I'm liking that one.
Hey, maybe. But no, it's kind of weird the number of things we've decided needed their own SIM card.
Right.
It still bugs me a little.
Right.
But
I don't know. I think it would be very comfortable. I'm really looking forward to that. So you guys will be seeing what the Mac does on, say, a coffee shop next week. Of course, this has been in hot debate because you're not an Apple fan.
Well, now see, you keep putting words in my mouth. I would originally. Okay, my first computer was an Apple II Plus.
Uh-huh.
Not an Apple IIe. Everyone knows the Apple IIe. It was an Apple II Plus.
Uh-huh.
I originally wanted,
mm-hmm.
When, before I got my first PC, what I had asked for, what I specifically asked for was a Mac Performa.
Uh-huh.
Like, here's the ad, here's everything you need to know. Like, this is what I want. My father took that in his head somewhere and said, he wants a computer. How cheap can we do this?
Right.
So for like a grand savings of like $150, he found a local computer shop that did custom builds of PC machines. And the only reason it was technically cheaper was because all of this shop's software was pirated.
Right.
Everything that came on that computer was pirated software. The version of Windows was pirated, DOS was pirated, you name it on that computer. I had games that were pirated. I had this that was pirated. All of it. Every last piece of software that came with this machine was pirated. And I didn't realize this in the beginning. I figured it out later. Because all of a sudden it made more sense. Because, like, I had like return mailing address labels on all my software, and none of this was reporting an OEM license. None of it. Like, I had genuine nothing. Like, I owned nothing. Like, all of it was illegal. And I'm just sitting here going, yeah, that tells you about the time period too. Welcome to the early 90s. That computer went through an entire operating system without ever being online. But and at the time, I was actually really proficient with Mac.
Right.
Hi, welcome to Mac SE land. But yeah, Mac Classics and Mac SEs, very familiar with. I wanted a Performa.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a Performa desktop so bad. And no, Dad saved $150 because I ended up seeing the receipt.
Uh-huh.
And I get this hunk of metal for Christmas that I didn't even know how to use. Okay. I saw my first DOS prompt and screamed.
Uh-huh.
Because I've used Apple and Mac products. I don't know what the hell a DOS prompt is or what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I had to wait till, because this was a Christmas gift, I had to wait until after the holiday to go buy books. Because, hi, this is how far back this is. The mall was closed for a few days. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To go buy books, to even figure out how the hell to get into Windows. Do you guys remember this? Because this was mid 90s,
I do.
pre-mid 90s actually. Do you remember having to type in start when? Yeah, I didn't know how to do that. I had a fucking huge ass paperweight of a 486 DX2 3366.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who know what those words mean.
Right.
But yeah, so no, I wanted Mac. I was a Mac fanboy at that time because it was all I knew.
Right.
Now as for whether or not I still like Mac, I like Mac OS. I like Apple's hardware. I like Apple design.
Right.
Corporate Apple, if you can segment all of that into its separate thing.
Right.
Corporate Apple itself,
right.
the minds that run the corporation that is Apple Computer. No, not a fan. Not a fan at all. Don't like your stance on right to repair. Don't like your stance on a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that you do as corporate policy for your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Hate it. Hate what you're doing over there. It doesn't mean I don't sit here and think the machines are beautiful, that the M1 chip is, fundamentally really nice and the M2 looks to be even better. It doesn't mean that I don't think these things are great.
Mm-hmm.
I just really struggled to get to a point in my life where, one, I could even imagine affording one.
Right.
Two, because there was a great dip after my 486 too, okay? Where Apple stayed up here at like 3,000 some odd dollars. And Windows machines plummeted to the basement.
Right.
All of those things put together, I really never thought I'd be in a position where I'd be going, right now, an iPhone Max Pro iPhone 13 Pro Max, is cheaper than the Samsungs that were paying off with AT&T. And I'm just sitting here going, really?
Yeah. Well, that's because they're getting ready for the March 8th iPhone event.
True. But I mean, I'm still sitting here, even though, because but still, it's like we're already paying these prices for this stuff.
I know.
We're already looking at replacement, because that was the other part of this experiment for trying this on these laptops, is we're already in that we need to replace them anyway. It's just if we could not right now, that would be great. Kind of thing. But you know, the prices we're already looking at spending.
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, like Mac caught up.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Some of the things they're coming out with is going to be really interesting with this new M1 chip. First, the A5G iPhone SE, the first 5G phone coming out with the A13 chip on it, 4.7-inch display, single camera lens on the back, and a company tech fingerprint sensor. That'll be interesting.
Well, there you go.
A new iAir and Mac. In addition, Apple is expected to launch a new iPad Air, also a 5G capability with a new processor, and a new Mac running version of the Apple M1 processor. Apple's last update was in 2020. It's also good to see the connectivity of the 5G being added to the Apple line, the ability to stream 4K movies on the go, and download your music in a flash.
Oh yeah. Well, then now there's debate whether they'll be announcing if they even get to do the announcement, because I think there's some issues there too, surrounding whether that event's even going to occur. But there's also rumor mill that if they don't do it this time, the next thing we're going to hear is the M2 on the MacBook Pro.
Yes.
Which somewhere in here we're either in this announcement or the next year, Touch Bar is gone. Like they finally realized, see, these are things though, I will say on Mac side that I've seen them do that look really cool.
Right.
And then you sit there and you go, but was it?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looked cool. It looked like a good idea. It looked like something you'd want. But then they did it, and you actually have to fuck with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, who the fuck thought Touch Bar was a good idea? Like, it looks pretty.
Yep.
They made that look so pretty. The first time I ever had to fuck with it, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you replace the entire upper row of your keyboard with a touchscreen sliver that also has a fingerprint sensor.
Yeah.
And, like, it's, like, a horrible quality display. Like, and it's, like, this weird projectile light. Again, no one loved it. No one loved it.
Right. Well, you know, and I'm kind of waiting, you know, because we have the watch. I am still on the watch. You know, we're in the race between Samsung and Apple. The first one to get the glucometer watch sold, baby. You can expect the rest of the house to slowly be taken over. Like,
well, you know, to some degree,
and let her know the shopping queen is on the buy.
Well, there you go. But no, I don't hate Apple. I like product. Right. I don't hate them. I've hated some choices they've made corporately. I hate a lot of their corporate choices. But at the same time, I love the OS. I've always thought the OS was fundamentally made more sense. It was less graphically hateful.
Right.
Like, I don't know how to explain that concept. Microsoft has gone some places, and I will say Windows 11 does look better. It feels more Mac-y.
Right.
Like, it's got a very strong, like, they're growing together.
Right.
Like, they're literally growing together. Like, they've centered your start menu, taskbar combo. Like, they've done all kinds of Mac-y little things. They've rounded the corners. They've, you know, gone. Finally.
My thing with them, and I am still pissed over this, is I am still pissed over when they said Windows 10 was the last Windows out.
Yeah. There's a lot of people angry about that one. Like Windows 11 was a shock. We were all like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I hallucinated. And yeah, Microsoft hasn't really had a good response for that.
Right.
There's the like it's ticked off a lot of people.
Right.
Like this wasn't one, none of what has happened should have happened after Windows 10.
Right.
Like if they had pulled everything they did for Windows 11 on Windows 10, I think the whole world would have been okay.
Right.
Like seriously, honestly, the world would have been fine with, oh, hey, we're going to obsolete all of these really old processors that Windows 7 will run on in favor of this higher security thing. This is also the last version of Windows.
Right.
We're just going to update it forever. I think the whole world would have been like, okay, we're down. We're down.
Right.
I think fundamentally what they meant was it was going to be the last traditional version of Windows.
Right.
Before basically, like if you're not aware, it's kind of a weird, wonky concept. So effectively, the difference between your Windows computer and your Mac computer at this point is almost the equivalent of a skin.
Right.
It really is. Like what you visually see in that operating system is fundamentally your biggest difference.
Right.
Like they have both gone similar routes in handling kernel, which is the I think second most basic form of programming that an operating system operates at.
Right.
Like there's machine code, there is a kernel layer, and then there's everything above it. Fundamentally, they're identical.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, I keep waiting for the one computer.
Right.
Just like Microsoft and, Apple battle it out. And they just decide to either nuke each other to hell and back, or they just merge.
Right.
Or someone comes along, apparently not directly out of the Linux community, and creates a Mac Windows killer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sort of like we're sitting here with like the iPhone and the Crackberry, and we are waiting for our Samsung to shoot straight up the middle.
Right.
Because sadly, Samsung has outpaced.
Right.
Like not only did like Android come through and just start ripping some market share, but then we hit a point in which literally Samsung is selling more phones than Apple is. Like they, as one Android company producing phones, are selling more phones than Apple and its iPhone are.
Yeah, but I'm a little aggravated with them too.
What, Samsung and their 14 million versions of Galaxy?
Yes. We only need one damn Galaxy Note.
Oh, but see, hold on. You're forgetting how wide Samsung has used that damn Galaxy label, and how wide they have used the word Note, and how wide they we're talking about a line of tablets. We're talking about a line of phones.
Right.
We are talking about different iterations in there. We are talking about totally changing numbers, and with no ability to sit there and be like, oh, well, yeah, that obviously is a this, so it came after that.
Right.
Or it says this, so it must be the same as that.
Right.
And it's like, no, it isn't. No, they have clouded this lake so badly,
Right.
you cannot see bottom. It's like, no, you have to keep a timeline with you for Samsung devices to be like, okay, that's the Note 4 that came out here, but that was actually after what you would think would be the next iteration.
Right.
And is it the Note tablet or is it the Note phone?
Right.
Like, it got nuts.
Right.
Like, Samsung's always killed me. Always, always, always killed me with their complete inability to, like, follow a logical naming convention intelligently.
Right.
Like, they just seem to see how many words they can, like, how much word soup can we mix up today?
Right.
Like, here's our new Ultra Max Pro 50, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, let's take Blue Butterfly's question here.
Alrighty, Blue Butterfly 41383. What does my boyfriend want and need the most from me that he doesn't say?
Oh, girl. Looks to be a little bit of nurturing. I don't think that he really expresses how he needs to be cared for. And it looks to me also to be time alone with the couple. Just you and him and no freaking body else.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to go? Let's move on to governmental stuff. Do we want to go stupid Kentucky, or do we want to talk about Lady G and her looking for a hitman?
Oh my goodness, what? All right, take Lady G. Like, just
well, Lady G, we call her on the show Lady G. Other people may know her as Lindsey Graham. Tweeted out this morning, is there not a Boris in Russia? Is there not a more successful colonel suffering in the Russian military? The only way to end this is for somebody in Russia to take this guy out. You would be doing your country and the world a great service. I saw hell freeze over when I saw this tweet come through. And here is why. Two people I thought would never agree went, what the fuck are you doing? Do you understand what you're calling for here? Are you moron? Official. This both came from Ted Cruz, Mr. Dum Dum himself, whipping boy mad because he can't run to the islands as soon as Texas hits below 69 degrees. And OFC, who's working her ass off trying to get diplomatical behavior and supplies to people in Ukraine. And then we have Dum Dum Lindsay. Like, does he not have a press secretary? Did someone not hire him a social media personality that does not tweet like Wendy's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does seem like it's been a fun news week, though.
It has been an insane news week. It has. What's your thoughts on this for a sitting senator to try to call for something?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with no. No.
Furthermore, Lindsay, that's why we have CIA agents. Put them to work on it. I'm sure a lot of that money that you stuffed in your back pocket could come out and go for a Black Ops project, you dum-dum.
Well, of course, then again, this is the Lady G we were talking about. Should I ask for clarification if we're talking about his back pocket or his princess pouch?
We're talking about his back pocket, not the money he uses to pay his cowboys.
Well,
that's a whole other government funding bill.
Moving right along.
So you can take the next one. Another dumb Kentuckian.
Oh, let's see. Which fun one? I'm sorry, I get lost. There's so many. Like, it was a bad week for
Send you in private.
Look at that short. Like, I'm trying to keep up.
Newsweek.
Oh, okay. Sign. That's all I needed. Yeah. So Dolly Parton fans slam lawmaker for asking if book program is appropriate. Fans of Dolly Parton are letting their displeasure be known to Kentucky State Senator Stephen Meredith about his recent questioning of the country's star's children's book program. Wow, that's a lot of S's, guys. But Dolly's sister Stella Parton started the backlash against Meredith with a series of tweets attacking the senator for comments he made during a Wednesday legislative committee meeting to discuss a state partnership with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library program. The Popular Literature Initiative gives free books every month to children from birth to age 5. Meredith, a Republican, asked during the meeting if language could be added to the partnership bill to ensure the program's books are subject appropriate. Oh. So this led Stella Parton to say, quote, I'm outraged this morning that anyone, let alone a GOP Senator Meredith from the great state of Kentucky, would question my sister Dolly or even insinuate something sinister about the Imagination Library program for children.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this sent Dolly Parton fans into quite the tizzy.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that story's just done right there. Like, he done fucked up.
Uh-huh.
Like, I wouldn't be making an appearance at Dollywood.
Well, not only that, but I wouldn't be crossing that border to Tennessee, first of all. Second of all, the partnership with the state is so that they have the addresses to send the books to the children.
Mm-hmm.
That is it.
Mm-hmm.
She funds this out of her back pocket on her own self, just like she done the vaccines, just like she funded other causes, and continues to do that without the backing of the government.
Well, but moreover, but this senator just can't even know what the fucking program is.
Mm.
Like, he just, it's like he heard word soup, and like he heard keywords. He heard book program in the midst of all these book bannings and library banning stunts and all this shit. And he went, could we add language to that bill there that says the books have to be subject appropriate? Thinking he was saying something useful.
Right.
Instead, I'll be on the 6 o'clock news tonight, mama. Like, he thought he did a good.
Right.
Like, he really did. Somewhere, I think, in his brain, like, he really thought he did a good. And it was like, did you listen to the conversation? Dolly Parton. Like, you want to take on Dolly Parton's book program, okay, and you want to effectively insinuate that those books may be inappropriate for children in some way. No. Bad life choices. Bad life choices. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of celebrities, you might want to,
You can go piss off other ones. I don't suggest you piss her off.
Oh, no, it's not even pissing off Dolly. I'm sure she just is like, are you fucking serious? But Dolly Parton fans, like, do you understand the groups of people you just pissed off, aka your constituents, all of them, any of them?
Well, what is because Dolly Parton has almost accidentally been elected Tennessee state governor every election. She has had to decline the job a number of times.
No.
Not because she ran for the job. Oh, no, because her fans
Write her
wrote
in.
her in.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
Like, she could go, oh, the president's office would look nice with the set of heels in it, and she would be on the American ballot, you dumbass.
Yeah, basically. And I'm sure her name comes up enough. You know what I mean? Like Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, Dolly Parton. Like, it's got to be in that top 3.
Right. Now, my question is, can you imagine Dolly as president?
I can. Like, I think it will be don't take this the wrong way. It'll be the trashiest White House Christmas ever. I'm just going to say it now. But, I mean, it'll be pretty, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be tacky. It will. It will.
Uh-huh.
Like, this is her personality. This is how she made her money. It's going to be, like, tease to Jesus on these trees. It's going to be hell on the lawn. But... it's not going to be the Melania, like, Tim Burton Christmas experience.
Melania's Christmas, it won't even make the history books. There will be a black and white picture in the back of the book in 2037 that just shows White House Christmas.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's going to be like, whoa, megawatt Christmas. But other than that, no, I can see a Dolly Parton presidency. I could see it and be like, no, I think that's going to work pretty well.
Well, my thing is the United States will make money quickly. And a lot of bullshit will be cut out because she is known to being a great country music star. But there is a backside of Dolly that is in the boardroom. She a damn juggler.
Well, she's good with her money. She is very good with her money. She always has been, and she has always said, basically that people look at me and see the tits and the hair and they think I'm stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And, I use that to my advantage.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing a lot, but, that's what it is.
She created a song called Dumb Blonde for a reason. And
right.
That was over Elvis Presley, for those that do not know this.
Well, there you go. But no, I mean, I could see it. I could see it going well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's a charismatic person. She, is definitely can't we all just get along? Like, I think the photos of her and Angela Merkel would be
hilarious.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, but Angela Merkel retired to a nice, quiet retirement.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they've got some new dude over there that doesn't even have half her charisma and none of her damn business. That's why Germany's having so many problems by now. Angela Merkel would have had soldiers placed by the foot across the border jerking people out of Ukraine if she was still in office.
Sorry, I was just imagining 9 to 5 recreated at like a world summit.
I was thinking 9 to 5 recreated at the G7.
Exactly. I was just imagining it, please hogtie Putin and threaten him.
Well, that brought up a question for me, honey. Can I go back into bounty hunting?
What?
Private chat hit next.
Private chat hit next? Oh my God. No, you cannot. Russian tycoon puts 1 million bounty on Putin's head.
Dead or alive?
Oh, God. Yeah, a U.S.-based Russian businessman is offering $1 million to any military officer who apprehends Russian President Vladimir Putin, dead or alive, for committing war crimes in his invasion of Ukraine. Alex Kanakin I'm going to think I have that right. I'm probably
Oh,
wrong. An entrepreneur and former banker posted the bounty on social media as Russia enters a full week of military action against the neighboring country. Western governments and companies have responded to the invasion by seeking to economically punish Putin and Russia's ruling elite. The bounty offered by Kanakin, who is now based in the U.S., places an even more direct target on the Russian leader as backlash over the invasion continues to escalate.
mm-hmm.
Oy. I will say this war is not going well for him. Like, can we just talk about, like, this is war, but it feels like it's being committed by a Disney villain against some very smart, savvy, enlightened, but very pissed off villagers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, literally, the villagers with pitchforks are showing up and kicking ass.
Right.
Like, I feel like we're sitting here watching, Despicable Me.
I don't know. Like, they're getting thirsty over there.
Like, it's been something.
I mean, because, okay, let me put this in view of the Americans. We thought, you guys understand something, right? Let's look back at history. You guys understand that we were very close to being on the opposite side of history. We had let a lying, cheating, now suggested at least breaking law to overturn the government 3 times, according to the January 6th Commission. Like, if there is a division of history where Trump actually was either able to do that or won the election, we would be siding with Putin right now. That's fucking scary.
Here's the more important part I think everyone needs to realize. Has there ever been a moment in which being allied with Russia has worked out in anyone's favor?
Not bizarre.
I'm just saying that, like, Russia has a bad habit of choosing the wrong side.
You're right. Catherine the Great was the last time that Russia was beneficial to be allies with, and that is because Catherine the Great was the one that stopped Napoleon Bonaparte. That is the only time Russia has been useful. Now, if you guys know Russian history at all, you'll know Catherine the Great is the ruler that died underneath a horse, but at the same time, she put the little man in his place.
Well, there you go. But yeah, so hey, Ashley, and glad you've been watching just on the phone. So are you doing a card pull for the war?
Yes, I'm going to talk about the war in tarot in a minute. Now, if you guys will go watch Spiritual Business Spotlight, I will probably put that into the barista chat. By the way, baristas, are you coming tomorrow? There's going to be a free tarot class for the baristas. It's paid for everybody that is not a barista. Make sure you hop in. It's at 3:30. Look for the link in the Patreon chat. All right. Let's see. The war going on.
Oh, what time is that class tomorrow?
3:30 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time, and we start sharply. Bring your coffee, bring a pen, bring a deck of tarot. We'll have some fun.
Yes, Rider-Waite tarot.
Yes.
Just to be clear, like, you show up with your Disney villains tarot, this is not going well.
Right.
Like, we can do it. It's just going to be a real long class.
Yeah. All right. And Tracy, look forward to having you in class tomorrow, darling.
Awesome,
look
Tracy.
For email in the morning. It should be your manual. If you don't get it, no problem. The manual will be probably posted up in the class when you get there. Yeah, you usually try to pre-post for those who want to print, but as long as you can follow along. Well, that's the thing with my classes, and people don't really get this. We have wonderful manuals. We've done it. We've put them together, but they're for really after class.
Well, they work a lot better for that. They're great to follow along with in class, but like the depth of material, really is only something you can take in outside of class. Like, you go through it, and like you really hit on it, and a lot because you are a visual person to start with.
Right.
You spend a lot of time teaching the visual side of Rider-Waite, and like, forget the book that comes with the tarot deck. It props up tables. That's all it's good for. And here's what you need to know to read the card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you seeing? What are you looking at? And what is the significance of that? And like that, like, here's your freebie secret for reading tarot is like 85% of the battle of reading tarot.
Right.
Awesome, Tracy. You will love tarot.
Yeah.
Because it especially Rider-Waite decks. Now he does have caveats about other decks, and that's why for the class it is a Rider-Waite based system that you need to bring. Is that some artist interpretation of the tarot decks? They make really artistically pretty decks that don't necessarily carry the symbolism forward properly.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to look at those cards, they're really pretty, but they don't speak.
Right.
Like they're symbolically dead.
Right.
They just don't have the information. But anyway.
So up out of the gate, I'm doing a reverse pyramid. For those that don't know the spread, it's a spread that's used by a lot of actually Russians. We have the moon card, which shows there's a lot of fear around the situation. We have Russia looking at what they do not have. They do not have resources. They also do not have the strength they thought they would, because we have the Four of Wands here, and that represents the family. Then we have the Four of Swords here, which is people are trying to gather and make plans and ideas. So that's our past. Our present situation. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. There is somebody with money that is sitting here going, how can we burn this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We also have in here the Nine of Cups. This is the bartender's friend. The Nine of Cups is also the one that needs to listen to what's being said, problem-based wise. Then we have here the Six of Swords. Now, this is what I call Drama Mama. Everyone knows who Drama Mama is. She's the baby mama. How much have we heard about we're putting Russia back together from the idiots? All right. Then we, of course, have the Empress, which, of course, is Mother Russia, and being locked in that cycle there. And when we look at it also, we have the Three of Wands, looking at where their stuff is going. The people of Russia are not happy. We have someone with the Nine of Pentacles here gaining massive respect within people that were not taking them serious. We also have them here being able to push forward with some things. All right, and then we have the Ten of Wands here. Now, the Ten of Wands is when they took on too much. Russia has took on too much. All right, now the archaic friends message is diplomats are not in a place of position. You will see talks. They will be walked away from. Okay? They will probably not be that useful. What is going to be useful is the gathering of arms and battles. So here's my interpretation. I don't know where Great Britain is at within this, but Great Britain's watching them very carefully. They have learned a long time ago. Don't fuck with us. We have more money than you ever know, and we'll be able to spend it on more weapons than you ever see. I think the president really wasn't being looked at as someone favorably. He is now an international war hero. For pulling his 1776 and going, oh, no. Bring me my men. Bring me my guns. I need ammo, not a ride, you idiot. I think that when this is done, Russia will be very damaged. And when I'm saying damaged, I think their loans are going to get called. We also are going to see more heroes come out of this battle. We have a lot of people feeling defeated right now. Don't feel bad. Guys in the Ukraine, if you're hearing us, we have a listening audience there. Keep it up. This also spurges a new revolution of sorts, meaning that there are other former countries that were connected with Russia that will be breaking ties, ones you would have never expected to break ties. I mean, right now we got the Taliban trying to figure out how to get to Ukraine just to kick their ass.
And not Ukrainians.
And Russians. Not Ukrainians, Russians.
Like, I mean, this is already turning into the war of the most convoluted alliances.
Hey, the best bedfellows is the common enemy, and Russia has been a common enemy for a while. Now, popping up here, we have the magician, which reminds you you're in control of everything. So be very careful what you ingest in your news media. Be very careful of misinformation. Be very careful of your thinking because you manifest more than you think you can. And rounding this out, we have the emperor taking on new ideas and new positioning, and the Queen of Swords cutting his head off. So whoever this either lady in government or a country that is seen as a lady will be putting a stop to this and will not be taking names about it. Now, Lady Germany has been, for a very long time has been that. Possibly Australia, possibly Swiss, because I do believe Switzerland still has a queen.
See, I don't know that Switzerland's going to be the one. Like, they've been neutral for so damn long.
Oh, no, but they're not being neutral now.
Well, true. But no, I don't know. Like, Eddie Izzard years ago made a joke out of, like, we should just parachute Germans into every conflict. And because they will immediately create peace. Just peace, 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 peace. Everyone's peaceful now. Because, like, even, I am a soon-to-be 40-year-old American.
Uh-huh.
I know enough of divided Germany that even I
Right.
would be like, no, 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 we're not doing that again. No. Like that, no. So I can't imagine being from Germany, even for 40 some year or almost 40 some years from the fall of the Berlin Wall, and a fully divided Germany. I just can't even imagine, like, this is a country that looks at war with any favorability whatsoever. I can't imagine. You couldn't just randomly pick up a group of people, parachute them into another country, and immediately establish peace.
Right.
Like, look, guys, we're going to tell you now.
Right.
So, going there, I don't know. I could see Germany very easily stepping in.
Yeah. Well, I feel Germany is right there on the niche of it. And then there's other countries that we have to be watchful of because they're daggers. France is very questionable. Norway, I hate the internet and I don't know enough female. Also, I think they will be added directly to the European Union. I also feel them being pushed through to be part of NATO.
Oh, the Ukraine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it would be the most spectacular defeat if out of this, all of Russia were to become the Ukraine.
Right.
Like, wouldn't that be one for the history books? Is that we take this tiny little country,
right,
and effectively out of this situation, they end up with total domination of all that is known as Mother Russia.
Right.
And it becomes this nice, quiet, like, lovely place to be because the last idiot in charge of Russia fucked it up so bad by attacking a tiny little country over some bullshit that he, like, literally wiped it out and went, no, it's now the Ukraine. That's what I think would be awesome.
Well, Lithuania's female leader, prime minister, and I'm going to have to send you the name, is quite interesting.
Okay, I will do what I can with that. Like every time I have to read a name that's Russian, I just try to think of everyone I know that's Polish or Czechoslovakian.
Right.
And I just try to use those pronunciations that I know. That it's like, yeah, drop that, ignore that, skip that. That doesn't, and that does a whole different thing that you wouldn't imagine.
Right.
Like, but I do the best I can. All right.
There's
Where are
only
we
currently 3 female leaders in Europe.
Okay. See, was that coming in private chat or is that coming over to Facebook?
That's coming in private chat.
Okay. Sorry, I was making sure I hadn't missed it.
I know. I'm trying to make this damn computer do what I want.
I understand there. Oh, there we go. So Prime Minister Ingrida Simonte. Ingrida Simonte. That's what I'm going with. That's my final answer.
Yep. And then Sienna Martin of Finland. Like there's literally only 4 female leaders, and 3 of them are in former Russian SSR countries. Somebody better be watching his head.
Well, Russia's done some shit over the years. Like, can we just take a moment? They have done some shit over the years. They have created a lot of hard and fast enemies. And mostly over this kind of crap.
Right.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Russia's ever stayed out of any war ever anywhere. And usually to the detriment. Like, again, they always choose the wrong side. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a bad cast of Disney villains. Right. When Russia gets involved. It's like you can tell who's going to lose just by who did Russia back.
Right.
Like, once Russia shows up and backs you, you should pretty much just go, I quit.
That's World War II.
Well, yeah.
Fallen.
Yeah, but like every time, like,
right.
Yeah, everywhere they show up.
Right.
Like, Russia doesn't win. Again, this is why I call them the Disney villain. They never win.
They were cursed and have been cursed.
Fair enough.
Go and try to kill the Tsar's magician. You're not going to be a happy country.
Generally a bad idea. Yep. Generally a bad idea.
All right. So let's talk about this.
Oh, what are we up to now?
How many freaking... okay. Listening audience, viewing audience, comment on this. All right. So for everyone knows, the Twitter's created the blue Twitter, where you can pay a subscription or you can pay a subscription to a person to get exclusive content. Of course, we have Patreon. We're going to be rocking Patreon. I am not looking at... I create enough content. I don't know how to make any of it exclusive, except for our Patreon content. And it's like, Now, Instagram is testing monthly subscriptions. Featured prices at RS 89 per minute. Of course, this is...
Per month.
It's similar to Twitter Blue, where fans can access exclusive content. Guys, what's your thoughts on this? Because, it took us a while to even get a Patreon, and I don't know if she's in the chat or not, but Miss Brenda was the one pushing for it.
Yeah.
Which we
love Brenda. She's there.
It's like, as content creators, what's your thoughts?
Okay, here's my deal, though. Is anyone else getting sick of this shit?
I am.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if you want to use your major platforms like Twitter and Facebook, whatever, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. If you want to use those to try to advertise your premium exclusive content over here
Mm-hmm.
at, your live stream, your OnlyFriends,
Mm-hmm.
your whatever
Right.
your paid thing is, and you're legitimately creating exclusive content there that is, that has value, whatever
Right.
it is, one-handed value, whatever it is. If you want to go do that, I don't have a problem with that. I just can't even begin to understand the point in which, because Facebook's going to be right behind it,
I know.
of creating paywalls and more paywalls and
Right.
then another paywall. It's like my problem that I have with like newspapers and the paywall concept.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand if you want to take like an exclusive interview
Mm-hmm.
and put that behind your paywall. I'm there. I get it. I got it. I'm there.
Right.
If you want to take certain forms of content and put that behind a paywall,
Mm-hmm.
because they are more than just reporting the news. They're
Right.
more than
Mm-hmm.
just this. I get it. I'm there. I support you. I think that is a value added
Mm-hmm.
and worth paying for.
Right.
My problem is the way everyone uses it.
Right.
Which, I mean, for the longest time, I was just happy when newspapers didn't have obituaries
Mm-hmm.
behind a paywall. Like, no one should have to pay to find out that someone they know died.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at. Like, and then I ran across a newspaper in West Virginia
Right.
that puts their obituaries behind a paywall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that is the dirtiest thing I swear to God I've ever seen.
Right.
Like public notices, public notices, I'm horrified no newspaper has a public notices section that
Right.
is free and open to the public.
Well, it's supposed to. It is supposed to be all open
Oh,
to the.
good luck ever finding the public notices that get posted.
I know.
Like, they're never there. They're never on the website. You have to get a physical copy of the paper to even see those most places.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Yeah, a paywall, as in like you have to pay. Like that's literally what it's called. Is when you like put that little teaser text, or you post out the article with the little teaser text on all the websites, or like on your Facebook, your Twitter, your whatever. And then when you get to the site, it immediately gives you like the teaser text again. And to continue reading, please pay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Oh, and then, yeah, so Ashley's pointing out Durham did that. We could pay to put Genesis in the newspaper when she passed, but the timing would. No, see, that's different. That's different. All public notices and obituaries are a paid item. This is how newspapers make their money.
Mm-hmm.
Advertising, public notices, and obituaries.
Yeah, but this is charging you to read it.
This is then turning around and charging someone just to read it,
Right.
just to be able to see it, just to peruse it,
Right.
just to read the article. That, and again, I get it. If this isn't an exclusive interview, that's one thing. If we're talking about your normal daily town news,
Right.
like, no. The fact that your local county commission had a meeting, I'm sorry, that's more public record.
Mm-hmm.
Drop that for free. Like,
Yeah.
no one reads that because it's exclusive content that they're just burning to know about.
Right.
No, it's a thing that you actually need to be a productive member of your community, is knowledge of these events.
Right.
But now if you sit down with that, with say a county commissioner, and you do a 2-hour, 3-hour, whatever long interview talking about some deeply thing,
Right.
then yeah, put that behind a paywall. I understand you have a lot invested in that. You actually made a real legit, thing there.
Right.
Like you did a thing.
Yeah.
But not just reporting general news items.
Right.
Not just your repost of AP stories because you're all, or effectively the, in-house version of your AP Newswire,
Right.
because you're all owned by the same fucking company.
Mm-hmm.
In like a 60-mile radius, you're all owned by the exact same news organization. Because if you haven't noticed, all your small town papers have been bought up.
Right. But what gets me as a creator, it takes me sometimes a week to get a month's worth of content done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just doing content. Like the past
Mm-hmm.
4 days, I've been working on just content.
Mm-hmm.
Not any administrative stuff, not anything else, just building content.
Right.
And it's like, now they want us to, to do Twitter blue. Well, sorry, I don't have enough following there. I'm not going to do Twitter blue. I'm not going to do Instagram purple. I'm not going to do Facebook green. If you guys want to support my work, get exclusive content, go to the Patreon. It's $1 a month. I'm not going to do the 89 rubles, which
Well, yeah, whatever it is.
whatever it is.
Like, I don't care if it's $1.99, $15.99, 99 cents. Like, I don't
Right.
care.
I don't either.
I don't care.
I don't care. Point blank. I'm sticking to Patreon. That's where we built stuff at, and that's where we test stuff at. That's where we have fun with stuff. I'm not going to be doing this unless it becomes a large, like, it's going to have to get heavy. It's going to have to get heavy for me to want to do it.
Well, moreover, I just can't see us ever getting there. Like Patreon, like I get it. We're way grateful for our Patreon subscribers. Like that's without question. If you guys don't know, then I'm sorry, we fucked up somewhere, but I think you should know. We appreciate you. But like just like Twitter?
Yeah.
Like it's still Twitter. Oh, but you get to do a 10-minute video or something? I forget.
It's exclusive tweets, i.e., this week I saw another creator do it, and yes, I will steal a damn content idea any damn time of the day. I have a playlist that I play in the mornings. If you know Aeson's having a good morning, you could stand out in the road and you know it by the music.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Or so if you're having a bad morning.
Huh?
Or if you're having a bad morning.
If I don't want to play house no more, screaming out of this house, yeah, even the husbands know, get your shit. We're going out for the day. We're going to leave him alone. He is not in the mood.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and apparently, Shannon found a new song?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes. Awesome. But no, I mean, like, but I don't know. How many more paywalls do we get?
Well, but here's my thing. Okay. Look, just listen to the greediness brain for a minute.
Okay.
All right. So, on average, let's say that Patreon is that you're paying $1 to Patreon, then you're paying another $1 to me over at Twitter, you're paying another $1 to me over at Facebook. Oh, shaking hands, honey, that starts my day. That keeps my day going. If you listen to the music, it's got some great manifestation in it. But, working 3 days a week, making six figures, black car and Benz, any day now.
There you go.
And then you got to go to Facebook and you're paying $1 there. And then, it's $30 over for the Mighty Network for exclusive coaching content. And then I'm hosting a class, so that's another $50. That's almost $90 for one person.
Right. Well, and that's if they follow you everywhere. But then there's the death by 1,000 paper cuts thing.
Exactly.
That always gets me. Which is, okay, so our local newspaper wants what? Like $4 a month? And then
how local do you want to go? Fayette Tribune or Raleigh Herald?
Okay, not Fayette Tribune. Let's go with the Registered Herald. So like they charge you a subscription, then you've got Netflix, but then you also have Hulu, or you have HBO, or you have Disney because you have children or you like Disney. Then you've got like, is anyone else just getting overloaded with, because we are,
Yeah.
we have subscriptions we forget about.
I don't.
Well, I think we do.
I don't. You do.
I think we do, though. I think we probably have, because, I mean, here's the realization. We have subscriptions on Google Play. We have subscriptions to individual services. We have things that are tied to subscriptions or bills for other things. Like AT&T gives us like what, HBO Max or something?
Yeah, we get HBO Max free for a year, and then it's going away.
But well, there you go. But I mean, it's just like one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, and then every flipping service, just like Shannon's pointing out, YouTube Red, you can pay for this, and then this service is free, but it costs this much to get like ad free.
Right.
Then and it's just on and on and on and on and on, and it's like no one can pay for all this shit.
Right.
Who the hell is supposed to pay for all this shit? What money?
Right.
What money is supposed to pay for all this shit? Like the joke about, polyamorous relationships and the fact that it's just like the cost of all this shit.
Yeah. In this economy, monogamy. Yeah. No.
Monogamy in this
economy?
God, no. Like, no, we need like, I'm sorry, divide everyone back out. Like, like come to me with an online subscription I need.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, as bad as it sounds, I swear to God, it's almost to a point of like, we'll provide sexual companionship for online services. Like, I swear to God, that's where the world is about at. Because it's like, I can't pay for all this shit that you want me. Like, right. I want to experience the thing, but how much of this shit am I supposed to pay for?
Right.
Like, that's why we've never had a problem. Like, if you don't want to sign up as a barista, we understand.
Right.
We appreciate those of you that do. And the reason we appreciate it is because we know there's other things out there.
Yeah.
That have, asked for your time and your money, and will give you other things for that money. It's seriously getting to be a hell of a thing.
Yeah, it gets to be annoying. This is why, baristas get I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the idea of barista and starting to go, okay, let's have fun here. Let's do this. What's work? And, baristas just tell us what works and what doesn't. An exclusive website doesn't.
Oh, well, apparently what we need to do is call Netflix and Hulu and complain. And they'll give it to us for like nothing.
Well, you can get on that Monday. You have nothing to do Monday.
Yes, I do.
I'm too busy creating content over here just trying to keep up.
I'm on the road.
You can be on the phone and on the road at the same time. You have that little plug-in thing that goes into a cigarette lighter.
In West Virginia?
They're your accounts. You have to.
But in West Virginia, like, have you actually ever tried to start a conversation and drive multiple miles across the state on the same conversation? No, it doesn't.
Well, again.
Oh, wow. One of my coworkers told me she got Hulu with ads for $2 a month for the next year. Like, you ever get rid of ads on Hulu, they always find a way.
Right.
Like, Hulu's never been ad free.
Right.
Like, and I remember when that shit was just free.
Yeah.
Like, that's how old my fucking Hulu account is.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when no one paid for it.
Uh-huh.
No one. And the only reason you did is because you just got sick of all the ads.
Well, and it's like I've told you and I've told the invisible assistant, if our subscription fees get as much as I can pay for cable.
Yeah, really?
You're getting cable. Exactly.
No, I don't want cable. Like cable is no. But I understand the sentiment, and if cable would stop and start where I want to, without like paying extra for the fucking like TiVo based unit.
No, they have it
I
now, by
know
the
it
way.
hasn't. Pardon?
It's now included in the cable. You have on demand.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, like on demand shit. No, I don't trust it. But no, here's my thing. My Netflix account is so damn old. Like it's right there with my red box. As in, I remember when there were physical discs that you got from Netflix in a little paper envelope.
Yes, we upgraded so I can get three a week.
I sat there, I abused the hell out of that service and found it worth every single dime. And then they went with digital.
Yeah.
Like literally, it was a distinction. You could have it with disc or without.
Right.
You know, that's when I made the switch. Is like, no, I think I'd watch more online, and I did.
Mm-hmm.
Now now we have Ricky Gervais joking about like one year they're just gonna show up for the fucking Oscars and be like, thank you Netflix or thank you Apple, who the fuck ever, you win everything, thank you, good night.
Mm-hmm.
You're done.
Right.
Whole of Hollywood is totally fucking useless. It's all swept by one mega corporation.
Which I think is going to be Amazon. Like Amazon is getting ready to do something. Their
Oh
studio has
God.
been buying up stars left, right, and center. Like,
Oh, you're talking about Prime Video. Yeah, that's its own. Like, and talk about layering fees.
uh-huh,
That's the one that has layered it.
uh-huh.
And to the point my brain wants to explode because, okay, so you have your Prime membership.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know there's also Business Prime, which is a totally different thing? But then you have within your Prime membership and all the fun freebies you get Prime Video, but you don't get Prime Video. You get a part of Prime Video, but then you can pay more for Prime Video and get Prime Video. But that doesn't cover everything because some things you still have to rent, even if you're a Prime Video subscriber on top of your Prime membership. Did anyone follow that? Because I struggled.
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck? How many fees? Amazon, how many fees?
Mm-hmm.
You get a Kindle Unlimited fee from me. You get a Prime membership from me. You get a
Adobe,
and you want a business membership from me.
Right.
What companies, would you just stop? Just stop. Just stop.
All right. So, digital access to your local newspaper is $19.95 a month.
Oh dear God.
They're not on.
What is it? $3 more for them to deliver to the house, and then all I have to worry about is throwing an extra 20 into an envelope at Christmas?
Yeah. And you get online access with it.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Sign me up. No. What the hell?
I know.
Oh, and don't forget Prime Music. Oh, believe me, I haven't.
Believe me, we haven't. Oh, she will not let us forget it.
No, well, because I did. I had it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I did because way back. Okay, let's start back with Joe's Digital Music for just a second. Okay, technically, if you really want to get started on digital music, we have to go all the way back to the mid-90s and Napster, okay? Joe had a lot of legal shit, as did everyone else. I'm not admitting anything that no one else has done. Like, fucking sue me.
Darling, we don't do that. You don't know nothing about a share bear.
Whatever. Anywho, so that's where it all started. Got to college. Believe me, we all had fun in the early 2000s when we got on that connection. Dial-up was a bitch downloading music. Then we had like a 100 megabit per second connection. It was amazing. Oh, that's when you made us addicts. But anyway, so then I became an iTunes boy, and actually, I believe legitimized all of that with iTunes music. Okay, that lasted until like 2008. And that was when I started with like different streaming services. Okay. And I lived happily on my Google Music for a very long time. And then I got hers. Like I loved my Google Music account. My Google Music account loved me. And then I got hers. And hers are completely incompatible with Google Music.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. So I had a brief moment. I said, okay, I got to give up my Google Music. I will go to Spotify. It seems like the Switzerland of music services. Had everything running there, had everything happy there. And then seemingly Google and Amazon decided to fucking hate Spotify. So I went to Prime Music for a hot minute because fuck it, it's integrated with that, but it will not work for shit on Android. So then we went back to Spotify. And I just put up with the fact that it's stupid and won't play a damn thing I tell it to. Until I tell it 15 fucking times.
Honey, that's why you go play the list.
Oh, no. It will, like it did to you the other day, it will sit there and try to play someone else's playlist that has some word in common with what you said.
Yeah, but again, you have to program it in, and I'm working on the command for it. But you can program it in, and it'll play the playlist. Like it plays Good Morning Playlist now when I hit the shower.
Well, yeah, because that's related to a different command. I mean, just the ability to be like, hey, AI-based device, play this on this service. And I don't know, it goes insane and says, did you say blah, blah, blah? Because that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And it's like, no, no one has ever asked for that.
Right.
Ever. No one ever wants to hear the weird indie version of, like, no. I named a song and the recording artist. I did not mean this weird, obscure group doing their own song with a slightly similar name. Never have I ever.
Or you'll find songs and you're like, that's not a song. And it's like, yeah, it is. All right, so we're hitting that time. But I want to cover the deer. Like this one, rednecks need to pay attention to very quickly. You plan on deer hunting.
Yeah, so a deer may have passed COVID-19 to a person, studies suggest. The virus is widely circulating in white-tailed deer. Until now, no humans are known to have been infected by deer. So a white-tailed deer in Canada likely infected a human with coronavirus, according to new research. The case, reported in a preprint journal, would be the first known instance of a COVID-19 spillover from a white-tailed deer, a common species throughout North America, into another species. Previous work has shown that the virus is circulating wildly in U.S. White-tailed deer populations. Before this latest report, however, the virus appeared to be very similar to that found in nearby humans, suggesting that the deer likely were sickened by us, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, now there is a team of 32 government and academic researchers in Canada that has concluded in a new work posted in BioReview that in late 2021, more than a dozen white-tailed deer in Canada had been infected with coronavirus that had a constellation of mutations that had not been previously observed among SARS-CoV-2 lineages.
Right.
Oh man,
Yeah.
deer season's gonna suck.
Uh-huh. What's going to suck even
Jeez.
more so is when the deer go, you humans gave it to us. Now, y'all guys couldn't wear your mask. You can't wear your flaming orange in the woods. Now you done killed out your favorite pastime.
You killed Bambi. Basically.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. Like, make your children cry.
Yep. Now it's
Hunter
time.
Daddy killed Bambi.
Mhm. Time for our favorite section. I have strong opinions on this one.
Oh, yeah, you picked this one. So
I
we're going to see
did.
how this comes out. Oh, okay. Oh, boy. We'll see how this one goes. Oh. Am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to leave our apartment during my therapy session? Every other Friday at 1, I have online therapy to deal with past trauma. My boyfriend is usually at work during this time, but took this week off. On Sunday and throughout the week, I reminded him of my appointment and asked him to find something to do for an hour because we live in a tiny apartment where you can hear everything. And therapy is private. At no time did he express he didn't want to leave. He only responded with, okay. I get home today and he's in his pajamas. I ask what he'll be doing during my session. He says he will hang out in another room and watch YouTube. Here is where I may be the asshole. I calmly express that I'm upset he will not be leaving after I asked him kindly this whole week to find something to do for an hour. He got angry, said he lives there too, and shouldn't have to leave. He thinks it's ridiculous for me to ask him to leave his own home, and if I want to kick him out, I should have given him money for lunch or a beer. He said it's not his problem. I don't feel comfortable with him around during my session. So I should have solved it by giving him something to do. I disagreed and told him I asked for 1 hour with almost a week's notice plus reminders. I never badgered him to leave, and he never opposed me until now. I don't feel I should have to set up an activity for him. I didn't spring this on him, and I wasn't asking for a mundane reason to be alone. Therapy is extremely important to me. I don't think I should have to orchestrate entertainment for him. He is 24 years old. I feel he brushed me off, didn't find this important, and didn't prepare, then was angry he was going to be bored for an hour. This is a common theme with him. He procrastinates until the last minute, then gets angry and overwhelmed when it comes time to deal with a situation he was not prepared for. He left after calling me disrespectful and ridiculous. I stopped talking because I did not want to escalate and get my emotions too high. When he came back, he apologized for being mean, but maintains I was wrong, selfish, and the right thing to have done was sit in my car for the hour. He said it is my problem. I don't feel comfortable talking with him around, and that it was probably because I talked shit about him and didn't want him to hear. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for expecting my partner to prioritize my privacy, even though he doesn't understand, agree with it? Should I indeed have set up an activity for him since I was inconveniencing him by asking for the apartment to myself? I have trouble with boundaries and sticking to them. Did I take it too far? Fuck no, you didn't.
First of all, he's 24 years old. If he doesn't have something to do for an hour, have him call me. I have a list of things I need done. No matter what cities he's in, I have things that he can do.
Like that's not even the beginning of it for me. Like I don't know why people struggle with this one so much.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like it's a like I know it's telehealth. I know it's telehealth. And somehow I don't know, people get the wrong impression that it's not a real appointment unless you have to go to a real doctor's office. Like the same as like people who work from home don't have a real job. And please note for those of you just listening that there were lots of air quotes through that one. You should be able to hear them. But I get there are people who just struggle with these concepts that if you can do it from home, it's not real.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and it's like,
here's my problem. I have multiple problems. Why don't you go sit in your car? Bullshit. That's not private. That's not secure. First off, I do not care for that bullshit. Drives me insane for someone to say that. Secondly, when people get all touchy, you're asking me to leave for an hour? Well, fucking who? You got an hour of your day. Go somewhere else.
Oh, we'll get into that one in a minute. Okay, so here's my thing. I started reading this. I was like, are you trying to start a fight? And then I read it and I'm like, okay, not starting a fight. Cool. Because we actually have to do this each week for me. I have a therapy appointment at 4:00 on Mondays, almost set in stone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm perfectly fine and have been from the beginning. I will go find a nice quiet spot, at one of our lovely, just down the road, multiple option, parks. Any of them. I don't care. They're typically low frequency during the day, like until late or very, very early. It's not like it's on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I have cell phone service, I'm cool. I will do that. I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why people wouldn't want to do that. I really do. I truly do.
Well,
I've had that moment sometimes in which I have felt a little uncomfortable. Because in particular, I planned really badly one day. And so, I literally had a fourth of my appointment while driving down the road. And then all I'm trying to do at that point is just stop the car.
Right.
So I can actually focus. Because I didn't want to miss the appointment, and my day had gotten way out of control that day.
Right. Well, when we first started doing it, me and you had arguments. And we had arguments over him going, I'll go to the car. I don't have to, you don't have to stop your day for me. And I'm like, will you stop it? He assumed I was getting mad because I had to leave the house. No, I'm getting mad because it is 3:35. I am supposed to have been out of this house by 3:30. You're holding up my errands, and now I have to deal with you with the, oh my God, I've been seen and you're giving me something that I'm not used to. And it's like, will you go talk to your therapist about that and get out of my way?
Well, fair. But no, I have no problem. I am a plastic houseplant of a human being. I ask for so little sometimes. That I assume that the problem is the little tiny thing I asked for is just too fucking much. Is my immediate assumption and I'm ready to defend it. No, the plastic plant asked for this. It's the only thing the plastic plant asked for. Okay. I'm ready to defend it.
And I am like, will you stop this? Literally, it took me about 3 months to get him trained. Get your tea, get out of my way, let me get the house organized, get the kids either in bed or outside, and let me get out of the house. And he's going, you're angry because you're having to leave the house. And it's like, no, you're in my way.
Yeah. So, no, so we have to do this every week. Again, from the very beginning, I've never really had a problem with the idea. As long as I am not having to and this all goes back to that day. And I that day got so effing out of control. I wasn't even at the rest area I planned to be at. Okay. That's how far behind schedule I was. I couldn't even get near the rest area I was gonna go to. So I'm at this tiny little rest area in Princeton, West Virginia. that if you come north on 77, like it is tiny.
Yeah.
It is a tiny rest area with a tinier parking lot. There is no comfortable place there to just go be away from people. Like there is none of that. There's nowhere in that area that is away from people. I plan to be like, I don't know, 20 miles up the road, at a rest area that is spacious and luxurious, in terms of parking lot. Like, if there's more than 20 cars in that lot, damn, something happened.
Now,
You know.
back to, Aeson being upset about things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who gets pissy on Mondays? When someone has devised the ultimate travel plan, he's going to do 15 different things. He's going to make his therapy appointment on time. He's going to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, dear. He still hasn't learned that okay, dear means I don't agree with this, but I'll let you experiment until you annoy me.
Well, there you go. No, but literally, now, other appointments in which my timing was good, I did not end up at that rest area. I ended up at the rest area I intended to be at, and everything was perfectly fine. I was completely and totally comfortable.
Right.
Because there's no one anywhere near me.
Right.
Like, I'm so far down the parking lot. No, seriously.
Okay.
Like, it works.
The minute I hear it don't, that shit's stopping. I'll call and cancel the appointments myself. And I'm not talking about your therapist.
Oh, good Lord. But no, so yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, it is one of those things that with the timing and scheduling of it, it does kind of make it hard for me to just like, theoretically it becomes I can't go anywhere Mondays.
That's my preference.
Well, but then there's other times it's like, no, really, I need to. Like, there's no option there.
Right. But this dude is a total asshole. First of all, he was off. Why he was off for a week is beyond me. Furthermore,
hey, what else?
Running around in his pajamas midday doing nothing.
Again, and people do that.
Issue, and he can't entertain himself for a damn hour. Can we just say uncaring, pain in the ass spouse?
Well, and very, like, not getting it at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bigger problem I have here is, like, really not getting it. Like, even if the only thing she asked for in that week was to literally sit at home and watch an episode of Friends while he's not there, it's really not a lot.
Right.
It's really not a lot. Like, literally, just, you can go out in your pajamas. Have you seen people at Walmart? You can just go.
Right.
For an hour and find something.
Right.
I'm a big believer in, I've always been weirded out by couples that, like, spend their entire lives together. And when I mean that, or when I say that, I mean those people that live together and then they work together and then they sleep together and they go everywhere together and they're just permanently attached to the hip. I think those people are weird.
But I have no roses if that ever occurs in this house. I will have 2 lovely rose bushes that are big and plentiful and gorgeous.
Yeah. Like, no. I think that's one of those things that no couple is ever meant to spend that much time together. There is something wrong.
Yes.
Like, you have a codependency at that point that you need to speak to a therapist about. This isn't even that. This isn't even that. This is, I just don't give a shit that you asked for something. I don't even give enough of a shit to tell you I'm not going to do it so you can plan around it beforehand. Or that we can argue less than, like, minutes before this is going to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, yeah, I heard what you said. I didn't care.
Right.
And, you know, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to tell you to basically suck it. Yeah, no, well fertilized.
But
Yeah.
anyhow.
All right. So going back to comments, though, oh my God, I had to put up a go away sign on my door for my therapy appointment when I had to do it telehealth. Ouch.
Yeah, there'd be some going away, and there'd be some large discussion on boundaries, and there'd be a deadbolt installed if you were stuck at home. Like, I think the only time that you was that one snowstorm, and then I said, we can't safely go on the road. Do you mind doing it in the car?
Yeah, and I was fine with that.
Right.
Like, again, I was fine with that. Like, no big deal.
Right.
Because, hey, I get it. I'm there. I understand it. We're still making space, you know, separate spaces. It's cool. I can make this work.
Right.
And there was no way I could safely go anywhere either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no one was going out safely that day. All right.
Yeah.
And theoretically, that was an appointment I could have conceivably just even called and been like, "Hi, look." You know.
See, that's the other thing is, he's still battling with this, guys. I'm a bitch. If you're going to do therapy, by golly, you're going to take it seriously. You're going to do your homework. You're going to actually participate in it. You're going to want to do the changes. You're going to take your meds. You're going to do what you need to do. And we don't play this. Well, I don't feel like it today.
No, not what I said at all. And you've struggled to hear that before. Is what I'm talking about is, like, no, I'm not sitting over here like paranoid schizophrenic with bipolar, like type 2, and like it is really important,
right,
that I very stringently adhere. Like, we're dealing with PTSD based things, because like, if you're going to put me on blast, I'll put myself on blast.
Right.
Is that the things that I'm dealing with are such that, yeah, my therapy is important. But like, I'm not going to be horribly detrimentally hurt missing a week here or there. My therapist is aware. My therapist is more than comfortable. You know, I'm like, they don't envision we missed one session, I'm going to be on the 6 o'clock news.
Well, no, but at the same time, it's one of those things that it's like, no, this is important. This is highly important. I know how much if you
I appreciate the importance,
because we also don't talk about your therapy other than, was it a good session? Do you have homework? Like, do you need the house for 4 hours sometime this week? Let me know so I can schedule it now. That's about as far as we talk about your therapy. That's as much as a partner ever needs to know about somebody's therapy.
Basically. That, and like, occasionally, like, if we do get into the like I will, outside of actually directly talking about my therapy sessions, I will talk about my therapist. Which I think is also can be beneficial in any relationship. Is also like, you know, one, yeah, I'm going to this therapist because I trust they're a professional that can help me work through blah, blah, blah. I've also been in the situation where I've put up with some really shit therapists.
Right.
Really shit therapists. In which I'm sitting there the whole time going, I don't think.
And I've seen them in the profession. I have seen them in the profession. They're shitty therapists. And I'll lay it out. If you don't like your therapist, fire them. They're an employee. Give them a pink slip. Do not pay them workers' compensation, and hire a new one.
Yeah. But no, like well, and I learned, and like, this is my giant takeaway for anyone out there. This is not medical advice. This is just life advice. There's a humongous difference between a counselor in a psych program like your standard normal psychotherapist and a licensed clinical social worker, an LCSW, or LSW, I forget which one it is. Always, if you can, go the social worker route.
Right.
When you go the psychoanalyst, psychotherapist route, they can be very weird and problematic. Because generally speaking, the person you're talking to is effectively an undergrad trying to get their doctorate.
Right.
And they get really hung up on the textbook version of psychotherapy without any real world understanding that you would get out of social work. So if you've had problems with therapy, I will almost always guarantee you the problem you're running into is with your counselor, one, and two, I will guarantee you have most likely not seen a social worker based counselor. You are seeing someone on the psychotherapy side, and they're sitting over there and they're just like throwing diagnoses at you and like these weird, like it's a very weird session.
Right.
Not saying there aren't bad social workers and really good psychotherapists. I'll just say that the split is like one leans better than the other.
Right.
So if you've had problems, watch the letters after their name.
Right.
You'll find your problem there more than likely.
Right. And going in, I'm always overprotective with that department because it is such importance to have good mental health and good professionals in that field. And if they're doing stupid shit, speak up.
Sometimes and I think it's also, and it's adjacent to the problem like you've experienced through other partners.
Yeah.
Is that some facilities, some organizations, they're almost cult-like. Like they really truly are. Like they have this like children of the corn like mentality that like everything is a diagnosable condition and everything that you do is a horrible thing that needs corrective action. And it's like, oh, for Christ's sake. One, generally, again, you're getting stuck with the psychotherapist, not the clinical licensed social worker. That like totally different realms. Way different experiences. Because generally speaking, when you get into that culty like thing, and that everything you do is wrong and everything you do needs like a 12-step program and everything you like every little thing. You walk away. No good really ever comes of that. Like walk away, but go quickly and find somewhere else. Like I'm not telling you walk away from therapy entirely. Go find somewhere else. You will do better, I promise you, when you find somewhere that actually has more you're a human and you deserve care and attention, and yes, you have issues, but that doesn't mean everything about you is wrong and broken.
Right.
There we go.
So
we have a last second from Ashley.
Well, we do, and we'll take that, but I want to say those. Because you touched it, I want to get expert answer. Because when he started, I was like, okay, time to get the cans of Folgers coffee and figure out how many cookies he needs every Thursday night. And
we had a it was the weirdest fucking moment. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, one, what the fuck did I do wrong? Because he's over here talking like I've joined a cult and they're having a bake sale. And I'm just sitting here going, no. What are you on? And then he starts explaining that there is a local service that I'm not using. But there is a local, there's a local mental health outpatient services facility nearby that like they treat everything as an addiction. Like they're like the addiction hammer. Everything they see is an addiction. Like if you're looking at porn online, you have a sex addiction. If you're doing this, you have this addiction. If you're doing that, you have this addiction. And literally, like, they are the addiction hammer. Like, all they can do is throw you into group therapy with all these other quote-unquote addicts. Oh, sweetheart, I have already seen and dismissed those programs. I don't do group therapy.
Right.
I have flat out told multiple times in multiple locations, oh, no, I'm not doing group therapy, because you say group therapy, I hear addiction, because that's where that works. And I don't even want to know what kind of addictive personality traits you think I have. Because ultimately what you're going to do is you're going to abuse the process of dealing with addiction, which is really important. And it does highly benefit from group therapy and shared experience. You're going to bastardize that whole concept because you don't want to have an actual client-patient interaction one-on-one because it's not efficient enough for you. And you know, your services are limited. No, if that's the deal, I'm out.
Right. You know, and
no.
Right. But you know, so I'm all prepped up for this, and he's thinking I'm mad. I don't support this.
Oh, you were.
Oh, like, I'm mad.
But from that and I understood it after I understood what you thought you were gearing up for. Like, oh God, into the trenches again. We're gonna have a cult with a bake sale. I can understand that. No. Like, once you explained it, I'm just looking at you like, what the hell? And it's like, well, the place just down the road, that's what they do. Is you get signed up for like 4 group therapy sessions a week. And you just have to, like, everyone rotates who brings coffee and, oh, Jesus Christ, no, I'm not doing that. No.
Yeah, because the local here.
Like, if I wanted that kind of crap, I'd just join a Baptist church.
At least I'd get better coffee. Anyhow, the local one here that actually called you and asked if they could provide you services, and I flat out said, fuck, damn, no.
Well, because again, I had never paid attention to the name. It didn't stick with me. And then they called randomly. And I still don't understand that. It was the weirdest call ever. Get me reassigned over there. And I was like, what do we know about this? And like, the woman heard you answer for me. No, you're not doing that. And then I got off the phone. You explained, like, no, this is the facility I was talking about.
Right.
Like, everything's an addiction. Everything gets this cult mentality. And it's like, oh, God, no, we're not doing that.
Well, they get grants and stuff from local organizations, one of them being AA, Al-Anon, Nikon, all this other stuff. So to keep that relationship friendly, everybody gets assigned to one of those group sessions, which I think bastardizes the system. AA is a very interpersonal system. Al-Anon is a very interpersonal system. And it's a wonderful system for those that have those problems. But I'm sorry. No.
Like, you can't, like, and it's not that I think that all group therapy is bad. Like, please don't ever take that away from this show. I don't think all group therapy is bad. I think group therapy is useful for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think sharing experience is wonderful for people with, violent rage.
Mm-hmm.
I think shared experience is phenomenal if you are a caregiver
Mm-hmm.
to just have someone else, like grief survivors,
Mm-hmm.
that's a shared experience. But the individual, but then there's other parts
Mm-hmm.
of therapy that it's like, no. And it's not a replacement for, like, you can't just use group therapy for everything.
No, I mean it's sort of it's part of their standard doctrine. Doesn't matter what it is, that you'll get assigned to one of three therapy, is one of three groups.
Oh, see, we thought we were gonna get like all the way through the show.
Oh, what do we got here?
Oh, Marvin, come on, we were doing so good tonight, man.
Okay, hold still.
Oh,
Again, let's look at this.
yeah. Okay, well, maybe I misread. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I may have jumped to a conclusion there. I'm sorry, Marvin.
And Marvin. Yeah, there's a lot of old crafters that stay in the woods, Marvin. And, welcome to the show. Settle down. We talk
Sorry. My bad. I apologize deeply. I'm so sorry.
Right.
Just, there were, like...
We've had spam. He's got PTSD from spam botters, Marvin. All right.
Well, because, I end up backhousing a number of shows.
Yeah.
I'm knee-jerk.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh... I about kicked someone I know in real life from a live stream the other night.
Yeah.
Like, I just read the comment and was like, you are approaching a line of inappropriateness right there. And then I reread it knowing who it was, and I was like, that's funny as shit. Like, okay, cool.
Okay, so let's take these questions.
Oh, yeah. So, Ashley, question for my mother-in-law, 9/29/71. Is a wedding coming for me before the end of the year?
Do you want the cute answer or the bad answer? Actually, I'll just give you the simple answer. No. If you're looking for marriage, honey, you got at least 3 years on that. Just get comfortable, enjoy dating.
Not that you can't just go out and get one, but like, you can go out and just get a lot of things. Like, choose the good one.
Yep.
Choose the good one. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and please tell me you weren't planning on, like, Mr. Squidward. Like, the fact that I ain't even going there. Oh, Megamind still. That's the follow-up on that one.
No. I don't like any of them. Honey, go get you a new patch, a new group. I'm telling you. All of them are on freaking clearance, and you deserve better. Get your nails done, get your hair done. Let's go, girl. Get out there and date better.
Alrighty. And so Ashley, for herself, 8/26/96, can you unfold further on the work drama? LOL. Are there any good apples?
No. Your work friends need to be your work friends. They don't need to be your personal friends. They don't need to be your insane friends. They don't need to be your house friends. No. None of them. I don't like any of them. They're all lovely work people, but their mouths run 100 miles an hour and they're as ghetto as fuck. You're climbing in this company, and you need to climb in this company. Be friendly about work stuff.
Don't make friends.
Yes. This was a friend collection.
Am I, like, why do I always end up feeling like the weirdo? Because I've had that in employment. Where it's like, I will be nice as can be to you at work. I will go out to lunch with you at work. I will show up for all the, the holiday parties and, hell, even throw in some bowling. I'll go do that. Work-based things. I don't want to see the rest of y'all motherfuckers outside of work. I don't want to be Facebook besties with you. I don't want to, like, no. That is not who you are to me. Like, no. I don't need you all up in my life.
Oh,
We
apparently
work
there's a
together.
new position available for receptionist at Moses Auto. Anyone? Because Shannon said, the coworker that was a pain in the ass quit yesterday.
Hey, there we go. Well, Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Hopefully you get one together.
Oh, yes.
I know, Ashley, you're looking for those friends, but you're looking in the wrong department and the wrong company. Go find those friends in those mommy groups. Go find those friends hanging out with stuff.
Oh, no, I understand. Like, I've been, like, y'all don't even know. Like, when I moved to Durham many years ago, Durham, North Carolina, like I just graduated college, everyone was drifting to the wind. I was doing that whole like welcome to your mid-20s, you don't know anyone thing.
Uh-huh.
And it's real easy to think that you're going to make friends at work, and like it gets harder. I'm sorry, it just does. It gets harder as you get older to make new friends. Like you lose them faster than you can replace them. But you value the ones you have more, let me tell you. It just takes a whole lot of time, but you can also try to make Insta friends. And I will tell you right now, the harder you try to do that, the uglier it's going to be, because you will start admitting people to your life you would not talk to on a subway.
Well, and see, I think Facebook has fucked this up. This is one of those words they destroyed. Friend.
Yeah, friend. Totally ruined. Like,
you don't need
no, that's
200,
not.
300, and 4,000 damn friends. You ain't got time for that many parties, keeping up with that many anniversaries, dealing with that much crap.
Marvin, we understand, believe me. But no, you will start admitting, like, it gets to be this weird part, and I think everyone, like, somewhere in your 20s, we all go through this, is, like, we had friends through school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, from the age of, like, 4 or 5, if not earlier if you were in daycare, but at least from the age of 4 and 5, we had friends. Like, we had all these different friends, tons of friends, all kinds of friends. We go all the way. If you go to college, you still keep doing this. You make friends. And then all of a sudden, everyone graduates and you get flung into new places, new areas, new stuff, or they do, or both of you do. And then all of a sudden, like, there's an intense loneliness that happens when, like, there is, in which you suddenly don't have this as large of a group of friends. Like, even if it was a small group, it's really deafening when they're all shooting off to different places, as are you, and you're no longer near each other. There's no 2 a.m. go to the coffee shop. So there almost becomes this like desperation to just admit anyone. Like, your requirements drop to 0. Like, do you have a pulse?
Right.
Do you have a good reason for not having a pulse?
See,
like,
I never had those low standards for friends. I have a very high standard for friends. And then I also have that opinion of I can take them or leave them. When do I have time to go to lunch? Not that often. And then of course I'm in the age group where the friends now have these things called children, who also have these things called grandchildren, and it's like, no, honey, no, thank you.
Yeah, I know. It's an experience, let me tell you. But no, but here's my whole point: is just be careful with that. Like, it feels like a very desperate time that calls for desperate measures. It isn't.
Right.
Because if you get desperate finds its level. You start admitting people that you like 5 years before now you would have been like, ew.
Well, again, and then that's where you got to find friends that are at your level. Like any other job in your life, draw up a job resume. This is what a friend needs to have. This is what a friend needs to be able to do. This is what a friend needs to do in my life. I have a wonderful friend. She lives in Tennessee. We ain't seen each other for at least 10 years. We'll message back and forth, and that's it.
Yeah.
We comment on each other's Facebook things. We'll see each other when we see each other. That's, but she's at my level. She, me, and her both recognize each other's values. We're great at that. Us to be seeing each other every freaking week, we ain't got time for that.
True. But here's what I'm saying is when you get desperate and you start admitting all those people because they fill the void that you've had going, up till now before the void started, you then have to, one of two things will happen. You will either become them, like that shitty person you admit to your life, you will become like, and you won't recognize yourself in a few years and like some shit's going to go down. Or you have to figure out how to get rid of your crazy friend.
Right.
Or your broke ass friend, or your can't hold down a job, needs to crash on your couch for a couple of days, 6 months later, you'll finally get them out of your house with an eviction notice. You will find yourself in crazy land.
Right.
With the people that will just randomly show up. Because you're desperate and desperate
to hiring anything off the street.
Yeah.
All right, let's take this last question here.
All right. So 82696 Ashley, if you can connect to Genesis, is there anything specific she's interested in for her memorial? I'm considering making it a fundraiser event for an organization, but I'm not set. So far, I have a butterfly release venue and a photographer in the works.
Why not do a baby blanket fundraiser? Point blank, like what I'm looking at is a blankets. Why not do something like that is not money based, that is, however, time based, focus based, bringing knitted communities, shared histories together, and what are those blankets? And the quilts that mothers get when they go into the hospital. Why not go into something like that? Like, I think that would be a best memorial for her.
All right. And Ashley, I will respond to your, and when I do meet my friends that stick, I have about 4 to 5. If you are in your 20s and can count 4 to 5 friends, you are doing phenomenally.
Right.
Phenomenally.
Joe, what's those blankets that person got in trouble with about their 5K race?
Oh, yeah. Those are actually, they're effectively SIDS prevention blankets. It's basically this really cool burrito wrap for babies that pretty much prevents rollover death incidents where the baby inadvertently rolls over. Thank you, Swaddles. I think they've got a few other names. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. There have been a number of charities that have popped up to help put those in the hands of mothers of newborns, so that when they're leaving the hospital, they have a couple of these to at least get them started. Because they have been shown to be really, really helpful in preventing that.
Right.
But it creates a little baby burrito, which helps prevent accidental rollover. It also comes with instructional lessons in how to avoid sudden infant death syndrome. I know that for Princeton, that's out of Macy Whitaker Foundation. So yeah, I'm like totally impressed with it. And it's not so much they got in trouble. Like, it wasn't the organization that was the problem. It was someone attached to the hospital that wanted to ramrod that through with the volunteer's name on it, who couldn't be bothered to like just go get the approval. We want to do this. We just need you to bring it up in a meeting so we can vote on it.
Right.
Like, grr. But yeah.
Yeah. any blank, raise baby blankets, because we have so many mothers that go into a hospital that don't have what they need, that are young, that are not prepped, they
Mhm.
don't have a mama there going, this is how you burp a baby. And so nurses are forced to train it, and then getting supplies, because Lord knows when you have babies, and now Ashley, you know this because you've had an army. When you have babies, you need everything. That or a diaper run. A freaking diaper run would be cool as hell, in her opinion.
Oh yeah. But now the ones like you're talking about using, Ashley is about using just any blanket for this. Now the ones that we were raising, or that the fundraiser raised money for, were ones that I believe specifically had like instructions on them. They had snaps. Like it was a system
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you used it the right way every single time,
Right.
to really help, uh to prevent this.
Right.
um yeah,
Yeah.
so
Donations of blankets, donations of diapers.
yeah, they're pricey. They like it shocked me how much one of those was.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're sitting there like really truly thinking about it, one, the price comes down when you can buy in bulk. And two, like they're so worth it.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's heartbreaking anytime someone loses a child, no matter what age, what circumstance, whether that was, before term or not, like however that situation occurs, it's always tragic. But to just think that you laid your child down to go to sleep safely at home and they just didn't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so to speak, the useless guilt in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you blame? Who do you blame? Who do you scream at? What, like, it happened.
Yep.
And that was it. And like, it's not like you can be mad at some pedophile abducted your child. You can't be mad that someone administered the wrong medication. You didn't even do anything wrong as a parent.
Right.
Like,
And
there's like, there's no way to dissipate that.
right. And see, what I'm saying
I'm so
is
sorry, Ashley. I'm not trying to
right.
be horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be horrible.
Yeah. But don't
I'm
go
sorry. I
grabbing
should.
the babies out of bed. You'll never get them to sleep at this hour. Furthermore, do something like that. Do something with that shared experience that only you have. Use that energy, use that drive you have, that with that, to build off of it, is what I'm basically getting. Diaper, there's a diaper or baby pantry around you that could use a helping hand, that can use hands to be packaging care packages, blankets, bottles, diapers, whatever, to make that experience easier.
Oh wow. So there's a lady in a mommy group that, Ashley's in, that is on the news. Awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it is like it's always heart wrenching in that specific incident of like sudden, and like we don't even have good answers.
Uh-huh.
Like we know a few, very few things, that help,
Mm-hmm.
that prevent, maybe. And that's where a lot of these programs get sidetracked, is it's like it's still not 100%.
Right.
It helps.
Mm-hmm.
It helps prevent some.
Mm-hmm.
But we still don't have like a real understanding, like why all of these occur.
Right.
And it's heart-wrenching for anyone, like, and just emotionally, I can't imagine the train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, like any child death is always horrible, but
Right.
and tragedy. But in a lot of cases, there's someone to be angry at. Like, you can take out all that anger. and there's no one.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. So we will be back on Tuesday. I have a guest for the show. Don't ask me which one of them are because I've got a stack of books to go here.
Oh, congratulations on the baby boy, Marvin. And so, yeah, Marvin points out my first time being a dad, and it's scary to leave her alone at night. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So take it away, Vanna.
All right. So, of course, we want to thank our lovely baristas. We really appreciate your support. And I am waiting to make sure the names come back around so that I don't miss anyone. But we really do want to send our appreciation, our thanks to all of our listeners, as well as our baristas, and specifically Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Guest, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, and Dottie the Psychic. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become one of our lovely Patreon members and receive all the wonderful benefits that our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Until Tuesday, guys, you have a magical, wonderful evening. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder.